think I've been very lucky, as I say, to be able to work in an area that I enjoy. It's been a privilege. It's also enabled me to live in a city that I love, that I enjoy, that I live here through choice. It's enabled me to live comfortably, to bring up a daughter on my own in the way I would have liked her to grow up. So I've had that. I've had the opportunity to meet loads of very interesting people, to travel both on holiday and for business, which again, I find travel possibly my number one hobby. So again, it has allowed me to do all of that. Basically, I've been very lucky. It was one of my first trades, actually. It was one of my first trades, and we were doing a lot of hedging, mainly financial instruments, but also we had a lot of very large potato farmers, and we were advising them on hedging their exposure. Now, I am not a farmer, and I know precious little about potatoes, but I had my charts. And my boss comes in one day and says, "Oh, I hear that there's some kind of potato blight on a consignment that's just come in from Holland. Shall we do something about it, Nicole?" I said, "What, for our farmers?" Yeah, he said, let's do something a little bit for ourselves as well. See what your charts look like. And so, yeah, it was a breakout. It was broken out of a triangle and da-da-da. So, you know. So he and I bought a few futures contracts of potatoes. So we went long potatoes. And I couldn't believe it, but I think it was within a fortnight, it had doubled in value. Doubled. I've never seen a market move that fast. Anyway, in the meantime, we had sort of warned our farmers and corporate customers about, you know, the breakout in the chart, and obviously then the news story went with it, and so it all looked quite good. But I just couldn't believe that the value of something could double. I mean, we're not talking, do you know what I mean? This is a big market. This is really important for the world. Well, for Europe, certainly. It's a really important commodity. And that the prices can move like that. So it taught me to be very, very careful, because you never know how far something can go or how fast. So be very careful. Well, there's some research just out very, very recently. I can't remember who's done the research. I was reading it on the computer recently. That yes, and they sort of put some characteristics, but I'd say that on the whole, both as traders and as investors, women are far more conservative. They separate out completely the ego and their status, the way they see themselves, and their status in society or the market. It's a completely separate issue to what their trading is. They're just, you know, like the job isn't part of the money, or do you know what I mean? That's very much a women's way of thinking. It's well documented that. I'd say my thing I'm very sad about today in the city is that there are far fewer women in dealing rooms than there were when I started. I mean, it's absolutely terrible that after all these years the numbers have dwindled even further. I don't know what's chicken, what's egg, whether they just are not given the chance, or the women can't be bothered, or they're frightened off before they even start. The few women in dealing rooms that you see are mainly back office, support staff, reconciliation, compliance that is crawling all over the place these days, and sales. Sales, definitely there are women, but in actual trading you'll see them less than 5%, maybe less than 2%. Yeah. Well, as I say, now there's so few of them that you're not working with an adequate sample, and you're wondering whether that sample is just too tiny to be representative of female thinking at all, or whether those are the sort of blokey women anyway, you know, that have opted for something like that.